Hello all you whiskey nut lovers, this is Mark Kaufman from WhiskyWhistle here with whiskey review number 531. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time. It's been quite a while, it's been a year and a half since I started, and still very excited when I do these. So it's quite, well, it's great for me anyway, hopefully for you too. Today we have another Scotch whiskey. This is from the Speyside region. And it's known as Longmorn. Longmorn is from the people at Pernod Ricard through their Chivas Brothers arm. And I thought I'd show you the box first because it's quite cool. Unfortunately, this one is discontinued, so that'll be the last time you see it. And I would suggest you look for it and pick a few up if you find. So let's have a look at that. Let's see if I can get it open this way. There we are. Quite fancy. And the box stays there. Don't pull it out all the way, otherwise you're going to wreck the box. And we'll get that whiskey out of there. There it comes. We'll close it up. Oh, I thought I'd read that to you here. Very interesting suggestion here. Right here it says, "Long no more." So, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but why not give a little joke in there? May as well. Alright, so Longmorn. This is 16 years old. It's 48% ABV. It is unchill filtered. Hats off to the people at Chivas Brothers for that. And nothing said about the color, so I guess we'll leave it at that. It doesn't say anything in Korean either, in fact. Nope. Anyway, if you do know anything like that, you can leave a comment. That would be fine. No. Nothing on the box. Nothing on the back. Well, anyway, 48% unchill filtered. I'll take it. Heavily designed bottle here. Look at this leather strip on the bottom here. I think it's maybe faux leather. And then this neat metal kind of tab on there, which is interesting. So it says single malt Scotch whiskey, non-chill filtered. Now this kind of gives you an idea of when this came out. This came out probably not long after the kind of the rush of all the people running into the category because they heard it was awesome and they're looking for things to try and things to collect. So why not make it collectible? And interesting green accents. I don't know if you can see, but kind of a Loden green or moss green kind of color there on the cap. Can you get a sense of that? Similarly with the first little strip of paper there, and also the leather too. So interesting color combinations. Now they have revamped the brand, they refreshed it. You can see some photos of the refreshed lineup rolling through on the iPad there. I think I need to adjust that slightly. That's better. Okay. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I'm playing a little bit of Christmas Tchaikovsky. Let's get that poured, shall we? Too much. That's a little bit too much. Oh well. Now that's a fresh glass, and I've got another one here, so I can compare how a bit of time does with the Longmorn 16-year-old. I think the new 16-year-old is 43%. I'm guessing. So quite a change, and. They've changed the color, they've changed the style, they've changed the logo. So a lot of changes there. Why did I want to put that back in there? Now the last review, so that was with Swami Suave of Malted in Montreal. Hope you liked that one. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. He'll have some very interesting things coming soon there too. Anyway, I won't let that sit very long, but we are going to have a quick chat about Longmorn. All right, Longmorn. It's located in Moray. There's lots of distilleries there. One in particular, which is obvious. As I mentioned, owned by Pernod Ricard. It was established in 1893, so fairly late comer. They use local springs as their water source. They have 4 wash stills, 4 spirit stills, and at the time this was posted 3.5 million liters per annum of pure alcohol. Single malt, obviously, and using a lot of American white oak ex-bourbon cask. That's their main cask type. And located, in fact, in Longmorn, Moray, which is within the Strathspey whiskey producing area of Scotland. Strathspey, the Speyside. So, history. The Longmorn Distillery was founded in 1893 by John Duff, Charles Shires, and George Thompson. Duff was former manager of Glendronach Distillery at and the Bon Accord Distillery in Aberdeen, and the founder of the Glenlossie Distillery. Anyway, and let's see here. They started production in December 1894. 3 years later, the same man, John Duff, built the Benriach Distillery next to Longmorn. Anyway, both were affected by the collapse of wholesale buyers Pattison, Elder & Co. in 1898. I think that had a name. What was it called? Well, not Maltgate, but anyway, Duff was ruined by the collapse. So it passed through a variety of ownerships, and in 1970, Longmorn joined the Glenlivet and Glengrant to form the Glenlivet Distillers Limited. This was bought by Chivas in 1978, and in 2001, Chivas Brothers was acquired by the French Pernod Ricard Group. Okay, so that's that. Let's get on to it, shall we? First up is the nose. Oh, by the way, it's December 10th, I believe. So coming close. We've got 15 days till Christmas. Anyway, we'll have we'll have a very short, not a fort, a very short advertisement right here. Welcome back. Longmorn, 16-year-old, the older expression, onto the nose. Yeah, you can really tell the bourbon influence here. And it is quite powerful at 48%, so you have to take your time there. But you can really smell the spice. You can really smell the fresh first fill bourbon casks. Yeah, I don't think they're using a lot of second fill or higher. So that means that bourbon has matured in the cask, bourbon is removed, and then the very next thing is called the first fill. So first fill, it's had one fill only. So they use first fill casks. The next thing after bourbon is the first fill, we'll call it. And so sometimes casks can be used, I think, probably, I don't know, up to 10 fills? Maybe someone can tell me that. If there's a Cooper out there, how many decades can a stave be used? I'd like to know. I'm guessing 100 years. So 50 times 2 or 10 times 10. And you've got that few months or year for the bourbon. Yes, very spicy. A little bit of sawdust, but you know, in a good way. A little bit of fresh newsprint. Oops. Oh, that's a shame. Fresh newsprint, yeah. Never noticed that before. And again, it's not off-putting because it's all bound together with the sweetness of the bourbon casks and the lovely, very fruity white spirit that this must have been coming off of the still. What did I write here? Nose. Yes, I wrote apple mint. Apple mint, so that's interesting. Now, I'm not sure if you've tried apple mint before, but here in Korea, where I live, I'm Canadian, I live here. I say that probably every time, I probably shouldn't. Anyway, they have a gum here called xylitol. I think it's made by Lotte. And I think the most popular flavor is the apple mint. And it's funny, the flavor lasts for 2 minutes. And people buy it in bulk, and I just like, why are you buying this? It tastes nice for the minute or two that it does last, but you know, give me some Dentyne, give me some Trident, probably even a double mint from Wrigley's would be nice. So we always bring back gum when we come here. So if you come to Korea and you want to give someone an interesting gift, bring them some good, long-lasting, sugar-free gum. Okay. Anything else I wrote there? No. Yeah, this apple mint, that sawdust, a little bit of newsprint. A little bit of cinnamon lurking in the back there. And if there's peat, it's so faint. Yeah, there is some there. But it is really, really faint. You really have to dig your nose in there and snuff like a pig. All right, the palate. Cheers. Spicy, very potent. Has a nice mouthfeel to it. Slightly syrupy, so that's nice. Palate, I wrote here, dried apples, raisins oddly. I wonder if there's a little bit of sherry influence here in some manner. Raspberry and medium chocolate. Cinnamon, absolutely. Bit of vanilla. Lots of bourbon type of flavors. Yeah, and the nose really suggests bourbon as well. In fact, having just tried the Baker's, which is from Jim Beam, it wouldn't surprise me if they used Jim Beam ex-bourbon casks. Yeah. Anyway, finish-wise, yes, this is what I like the most about this. It's got a chocolate cherry finish, dark chocolate, and you know, that partially dried cherry that's in the middle there. Or a very, very ripe, fresh cherry, simply dipped in melted dark chocolate and let to dry. Now, before we put water in, I'm going to check out the older one. So that is older, the one that's been sitting out longer. This has been out for probably going on about an hour. And much softer, much smoother, much more complex, in fact. The fruit really comes out here now. Oranges, apples are still there. Peppers. Red and yellow and orange bell peppers. The smell when you're cutting them on the cutting board. And if you really dig your nose in there, you still get that newsprint. Okay. How about the palate? Much sweeter, much gentler. You don't even notice it's 48%. It seems like 44, 45. Still a lot of bourbon flavors coming through here. And yet there's that little bit of that raisin effect there as well. The raspberry. Okay, interesting. Definitely worth waiting. Okay, we're going to put in a good dollop there. And may as well. A little bit less over here. Should probably put more than that in there. But I'm worried of overwatering it. Oh, did you notice my facial hair? That was, well, a mustache for Movember. And, boy, a few days went by. I was sick for a few days, and suddenly I've got this beard. So I thought, well, I'm just going to run with it. So. Well, it got a lot sweeter. The sawdust and newsprint has kind of subsided and given way to something sweeter. Yeah, fruit leathery, dried apples with cinnamon. Raspberry. Okay, well, we will give this a little bit of a taste now with water. Nose first, I think. Did I do the nose already? Yes, I did. Oh dear, yes, it's very late here. Okay, on to the taste. We'll have a short advertisement right there. Welcome back. On to the taste now with Longmorn 16-year-old, the older expression, the discontinued one. It's now got a purple bluey color hue to it. Okay, cheers. Boy, a lot more vanilla pods. There's a medium Christmas cake. Medium meaning not light, not dark. Medium Christmas cake coming out here. You begin to notice the peat also. And what you will notice, and I can already see here, you can see a little bit of Scotch mist happening. It's getting a little bit hazy in the glass. I'm going to add just a little bit more water. Maybe a little bit more yet. Okay. Oh, by the way, I'm shooting this in 4K. So hopefully the quality is really good. Yes, look at that. So it's getting rather opaque, isn't it? And there's the original. And even this one is not really quite there yet. So you can see quite a difference there. Oh yes. Now that's the beauty of being unchill filtered. You get that beautiful change that develops. So if you put ice in yours, you're going to see that pretty quickly. Now I wrote here on the nose, by the way, Scotch mist is well developed. There's a sour apple and pear note here. Sour, I should say tart. Not sour, not a bad apple, but a tart one. And the peat, let's see that peat again. Yes. And it carries through into the finish. A little bit smoky there. And the finish again, chocolate cherry, a little bit of vanilla there. And there's kind of a Christmas pudding flavor going on in my mouth. Now that's going to change right away. Funny, you actually notice the peat a little bit more the longer you wait. And again, it's very subtle. It's a little bit less than something like a blended Johnny Walker or Ballantine, or definitely less than Teachers. Wasn't that nice? It's just a little bit richer, and the palate lasts just a little bit longer. So, the verdict with Longmorn, you will want to leave that out for a little bit first, or maybe pour 2 half glasses and try one at the beginning so you can experience that apple mint, then the one that you've waited 15-20 minutes for, you'll have the a little bit more of the fruitiness coming through, a little bit more of the that distillery character. Anyway, I think I meant to write that down, I just didn't. And then with water, again, the older one, you notice a little more of the peat than the one I poured just before, just as we started here. So that's interesting and fun. Anyway, so how about a WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Longmorn 16-year-old, 48%. This one is going to be the 88 out of 100. That's the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Longmorn 16-year-old, 88 out of 100. And its nickname is the Longed One. I can certainly see myself picking up another one of these if they're not too expensive. And I might be inclined to look at the new opening price point for the new range. This was all that was offered before. So they had a single malt to carry the brand. Now they have, I think, 4. So it should do better business, I would say. Anyway. Alright, anyway, it's complex, it's interesting. Doesn't quite really wow me, but it is beyond just good. It's into the great. Okay, so Longmorn 16-year-old, thank you so much for tuning in, Don't forget to come back again and watch what's next. That's going to be something else. That's 18-year-olds from the most northerly island of Scotland. Northerly populated island, I should say. Starts with an O. You might be able to guess what that is. It's got red on the label. Anyway, check back again and you can find out. Don't forget to subscribe. Click that link there, then click subscribe, the red subscribe button, and you will not miss any of these. Okay, thanks everybody. Take care now.